Sports Coverage presents Speed World. Today, from the wine country of the Sonoma Valley of Northern California, one of the most fertile valleys in all of the United States. Also there, you'll find Sears Point International Raceway and today's Banquet Frozen Foods 300 Winston Cup race.
Kyle Petty, as we had told you earlier, broken his leg in that accident in Talladega. Now he is going through the long, sometimes painful, very difficult process of rehabilitation, so he will not be in the car today. Instead, road racer Tommy Kendall, a specialist. And Kyle, I heard you said the other day that it was pretty good to have someone like Tommy in the car. Might even be better for Felix, your car owner, than if he had you in there.
Oh, it's definitely going to be better for Felix and the crew and Melly Yellow and Pontiac and everybody. You know, Tommy's an exceptional road racer. He came out here and he qualified fifth. I might not have made the race the way I get around road courses sometimes, so we're going to be out there pulling for him.
On the pole from Chesapeake, Virginia, in the number 5 Tide Chevrolet is Ricky Rudd, qualifying at 90.634. On the outside of the front row, his best start this year, Terry Labonte in the number 94 Sunoco Ultra Oldsmobile. He's from Corpus Christi, Texas. Going to row number 2, it's Dale Earnhardt, the current points leader in the number 3 GM Goodwrench Chevrolet. And then Rusty Wallace in the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac, car number 2. In the third row, it is Tom Kendall in the number 42 Mellow Yellow Pontiac. And here is another innovation that we actually started last year at Watkins Glen in our support race. This won an Emmy Award for ESPN Speed World coverage. The telemetry there on the right of your screen. It will show you the miles per hour up there. You can see it 40, 41. The RPM of the car, 5111 now. You will see when the driver is on the brake. That will flash on and on for you. By the way, this is in Tom Kendall's car. It will also show you how he's on the accelerator. As you can see right now, he is in second gear. So all of that information will be available to you as you watch Tom Kendall go around this 2.5-mile road course. Ricky Rudd on the pole in the Tide Chevrolet. Terry Labonte is alongside. The cars come off of the 11th corner and they get the green flag. The Banquet Frozen Foods 300 underway.
Comes Rudd into turn 7 once again. He uses the same pattern every time. There's smoke going into turn 4 or 5 over there around Benny Parsons area, and the car off course.
R.K. Smith has gotten that car way up on the banking. You can see steam and smoke pouring from that car. The yellow flag is out. We are going to have our first full course caution of the afternoon. Oh, a battle for second position.
That's trying it again on the outside. He tried to outbrake Earnhardt coming into the turn, but again, Earnhardt has the preferred groove going into the turn. He'll slip Wallace up a little high, but it gives him enough room that Wallace makes the pass.
There's the telemetry. Now watch the speed decrease as he heads for that second gear corner. All the way down to the 40s, 30, 33, 33, 30, 30 miles an hour, about the slowest, and then back hard on the accelerator.
Bob, I'm sure there are a lot of fans out there thinking, well, heck, if they're only going 30 miles an hour, I could do that. I'll tell you, it's a little harder than it looks.
Yeah, it's the 120 or 25 or 30 miles an hour that you go on the other portions of the course that would worry me. And Tommy's going to take it to the inside in turn number 11, and he is going to pass Terry Labonte.
Bob, that was a classic road racing move, out breaking the fella going down in the slow corner. And Kendall, with his road racing experience, we're probably going to see much more of that today.
Well, the Trans Am champion, of course, has a lot of experience on road courses, and that's one of the reasons why he was chosen to replace Kyle Petty on this particular venue. Tom Kendall with a great future in racing. He's a youngster, just graduated from UCLA recently, but he has a bright future in auto racing if he wants to stay with it.
I asked him what his degree was from at UCLA. He said economics. I said, what do you do with that? He said, figure out how to spend my money.
And Derek Cope has crashed. He's taken that Chevrolet into the tire barrier, and it is going to bring out a full course caution. And here comes Earnhardt and Kendall. Watching from Tom Kendall's in-car camera.
See, there's a lot of steering wheel movement on this racetrack.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Ned, how busy Kendall is. He's probably never been this busy in a race car in his life.
They go downhill now. Here's turn number 6 and on to the straightaway. There's the foot cam. You can see him hard on the accelerator, now hard onto the brake, trying to take over the position at turn 7.
Yeah, he's trying to go on the outside of Dale Earnhardt. We've seen that pass made a couple of times, but Tommy Kendall couldn't make it that time.
Tommy Kendall said, hey, I saw those guys do that before. How come it didn't work for me?
Foot cam once again.
Notice he's not using the clutch, just braking with his left foot. They're braking with the left foot, shifting gears all this while never touching the clutch.
The Jericho transmissions will allow them to do that.
We saw when the right foot goes, that's shifting gears.
Now watch him, he's going to slow down here. It was about 30 miles an hour. Only got down to 31 that time for turn number 11. And he'll be hard on the accelerator now for a while here until he gets up to turn number 1 where he might touch the brake slightly. Up through the gears into second, now into third.
Moses right in on Earnhardt up at the top of the hill in turn 2.
Boy, he sure is. It looks like he wants that position real bad.
Yeah, I think Earnhardt's holding him up a little bit and just get an opportunity to move around. He'll try him again, I'll bet, on the outside going into turn 7. Now he brakes a little bit harder going into the turn. Earnhardt gives him room down there, but did he get in too fast? Kendall almost got into the turn too fast, but he might have made the pass this time, fellas. Yes, he did.
How about that? Tom Kendall with a very nice move in turn number 7 and now takes over the position from Dale Earnhardt as they swing through the S's.
It's gotten worse. After he made that pit stop, we didn't see him smoke for a couple of laps, but now he is really putting it out.
Well, a third full course caution of the afternoon waves over Sears Point International Raceway with Rusty Wallace leading the Banquet Frozen Foods 300. Earnhardt is in for an unscheduled stop.
What they're going to do is go under the hood. Richard Childers says he hopes it's nothing more than just a loose oil fitting.
The field gets set to go back to green flag conditions. Here they come off the final corner. Oh, and a spin right here at the straightaway. Ernie Irvan loops is going to be able to keep going.
To this turn, Tommy Kendall now beginning to move up, put a little bit of pressure on him up.
There are a lot of people that sincerely believe that Tom Kendall can win this race here this afternoon. We have talked about how good he is on road courses and his performance that he has seen in Winston Cup competition on road courses. And with this car underneath him, he is a real contender for a win.
Just came in there a little hard. He's coming up in our direction, but he's not going to quite get here.
Let's hope not.
So Chad.
Tommy Kendall's mellow yellow Pontiac has only completed 21 laps at the previous pit stop. Well, Bob Gary Nelson brought Tommy Kendall in about 5 laps early, knowing that everyone has to make at least one more stop. Now, he realizes that Ricky Rudd and Rusty Wallace should be pitting any time now. But if they calculate their pit stops according to how much fuel they'll have to make their final stop with about 5 laps to go. Now, barring caution flags, of course, they'll have to come back in. We're talking about Wallace, Rudd, etc., with 5 laps to go. They will make their stop, meaning Gary Nelson and Tommy Kendall, with about 10 laps to go, meaning they'll be back up front. It'll be up to Rusty Wallace and Ricky Rudd to catch them for the win. Well, we're up here with Gary Nelson. There's been some concern that maybe your car was sputtering a little bit. You lost the spot a minute ago to Mark Martin.
Well, the car sputters after about 20 laps, where the other teams can go about 30. So we just split up. If there's a fuel pickup problem that we're having in the left-hand turn, so we just split up from the last caution period, 20 laps, and then it's 20 laps to the finish. Rusty looks like he can make it all the way, and maybe the 6 car or the 5. We can't make it all the way. Caution would sure help. But as far as everything else goes, Tommy's doing a great job, and we're really happy that he's running up front as far as he is.
Tom Kendall is in for a pit stop. Jerry.
Actually, a little bit earlier than they would expect, but Kendall has come down pit road nevertheless, Bob, and they will change all 4 tires and fill it up with fuel. He had to make one more stop anyway, and I guess they're going to try to get him the best chance they can to get back up front. Otherwise, he would have made that final stop with just a few laps to go. Kendall's car is down and away. That's a complete pit service.
I think that's a smart move, bringing him in a little bit earlier. Of course, I noticed the last couple of laps around coming off of turn 7, we mentioned earlier that the car was sputtering coming off of here, and it was a little bit worse the last 2 or 3 times. But now he is back out there, has all the service he needs for the balance of the race, and should they get a caution, he's going to be in super shape, as we mentioned a little bit earlier. So I think that was a good strategy.
He comes out in 9th position. Here is a spin by Mike Chase. Now the question is this going to bring out a caution? Another car stops.
The caution is coming out because Morgan Shepherd is stopped up in turn 2.
Yeah.
There we're seeing Mike Chase. We're looking at Mike Chase, but Morgan Shepherd has stopped up in turn 2 with a blown engine.
Shepherd's right there on the left. And there is... Was
tremendous break for Tommy Kendall. That's the break that he needed. Now everybody else will come in. He'll stay out on the track, and they'll be behind him.
And there's the caution flag.
The full course caution. 4th yellow of the afternoon, and yes, indeed, this is a good break for Tommy Kendall. The green flag comes out. We're back to racing. On lap number 61, Kendall has the lead.
And there's about 6 or 7 cars, slower cars between he and Rusty Wallace. Rusty trying to get through him up in turn 2.
Yeah, there's Rusty moving the inside of Dave Marcus. Now Bobby Hamilton. He's knocking him off as he's now got his sights set on the leader of the race, Tom Kendall.
Oh, Richard Petty. Oh, Richard hard into the wall up here in turn 1, Bob.
Richard Petty has gone into the tires, and oh, he has hit hard. Look at the damage on the front end of that car.
Hey, Richard, you okay? Richard is moving around in the car.
Good.
A lot of concern here in the Rusty Wallace pit. Rusty's radioed in a minute ago and said he has a problem, and behind me, Harold Elliott and Jimmy Maycar and the crew are watching anxiously, trying to make a decision. Now, what they're trying to decide is, should they bring Rusty in? Apparently, the car is sputtering or missing even more now. They think they may have a plug wire off, or possibly it may be something in the valve train. They're not really sure what it is. Now, what they're trying to do is figure out if there are 18 cars in the lead lap, according to their calculations. Now, with 8 laps to go, do they risk coming and pitting it and see if maybe it is a plug wire and they can fix it? Then they get back out and get just a few laps to pass 18 cars, which they'd never be able to do. Maybe still finish 8th or 9th. Or they stay out there and ride it out and hope that it won't get too bad and maybe he can run quick enough to finish.
Lap number 68, and we are back to green. Now we'll see how this thing shakes out. It's set up to be what could be a very exciting finish as Tom Kendall still has the lead. Remember, we heard that Rusty Wallace may be having a problem on that car, and several are pursuing him, including Mark Martin, Davey Allison, and Ricky Rudd.
Kendall has a good lead coming into turn 7. Here goes Mark Martin around Rusty Wallace, taking over the 2nd position. Davey Allison now trying to pull up on the outside of Rusty Wallace, so definitely he is having a problem.
Tom Kendall, of course, looking for his very first Winston Cup win here this afternoon. We asked him earlier in the weekend, do you feel confident you can win today?
I really do. You know, racing is racing, and you never know what's going to happen. But aside from punctures and incidents that happen on the track, you know, if none of those come up and bite us, I think we've got a really good shot. We were doing some longer runs this morning, and I think after about 10 laps, we're going to be in really, really good shape. We were running, I think, about as quick as anybody, or maybe quicker after about 8 or 10 laps on the tires.
Words earlier in the weekend from Tom Kendall, but look at Mark Martin close the gap. Martin is closing in quickly, guys.
No question about it. He has gained almost a second in the last lap, Bob, and he's certainly within striking distance now.
Not too far behind in 3rd position is Davey Allison, and 4th is Ricky Rudd.
If Davey can dodge a wreck, he might be in good shape.
I'll tell you, he's going to get all the pressure he can stand. Here's Martin now, going to try it on the outside. This is the pass we've seen several times. They touch a little bit coming into the turn. Martin drives her in deep and locks the brakes. That won't get it. Well, here he comes, back up on the outside. He might be able to do it. Look again. Martin spins around and slams into the guardrail on the inside. Wow.
Mark Martin has spun, is going to be able to pull away, however. He's going to put one of those tires in the middle of the racetrack, and Bobby Hillin hit it. A lot of action has been seen in turn number 7, Ned, where you are.
Okay, here's the replay. Martin coming in on the outside. He touched us a little bit before they got to the turn. Then Martin went wide, locked the right front brake. I thought that would have done away with his situation of being able to pass. But then he got out there and Kendall put the bumper to him.
And Davey Allison, meanwhile, has passed Kendall. And here comes Ricky Rudd to do likewise.
Yes, Davey Allison coming off turn 2 got underneath the car of Tom Kendall. It's almost like the Kendall car has a tire going down because the handle has just gone away on the Kendall car.
It could very well be, Benny, because he and Mark Martin had pretty heavy contact there. It was the left front of Kendall's car that was up against the right rear of Mark Martin's car, so he could very well have cut a tire.
And out of nowhere comes Davey Allison to lead this race.
And Kendall can't get the car to turn, almost ran in the bank.
Yeah, he's struggling with that car, and it's a really tough break for Tom Kendall, but he has definitely proven himself as a great race driver for the future in Winston Cup racing. Here they are.
Rudd is there.
11. Oh, and Davey Allison is spun. Ricky Rudd now has the lead. All kinds of contact here in the last few laps. And the white flag flies for Ricky Rudd. And Ricky Rudd is apparently going to receive the checkered flag and the win of the Banquet Frozen Foods 300. Here he comes, waving to the pit crew as he passes by. The black flag is shown to Ricky Rudd. Rudd is shown the black flag. Davey Allison is shown the checkered flag.
They did not give the win to Ricky Rudd, Bob.
No, they gave the black flag to Ricky Rudd as he came down and passed under the start-finish line. They waved the checkered flag to Davey Allison, and he apparently is going to win this race.
Well, why don't somebody jump up and down, guys?
They're confused. That's what that crew is. They don't know exactly what is going on.
Wow.
Wow is right.
I'll tell you, we just went out there and we drove our guts out today, and you know, it's a shame what happened right there on the next to last lap down here in turn 11, but it was, the justification came out in the end, and we're tickled to death to be here in Victory Lane for the second time this season. We're going to get some more.
Hard work for the type of finish you had today, but you're still able to smile. You and Mark are parked next to each other here in the garage here. Have you had words yet?
Well, Steve Meal came over right afterwards and said, hey, you know, that's racing, don't feel bad about it. But, you know, we got together going into the corner. Mark got into me a little bit, and I got a little loose. Then coming off, I was just picking up the throttle and got loose, tagged his left rear, and he got around, and that's what bent my fender in on the tire. So I don't think the finish was real indicative of how we were running. I think Ricky and I probably ended up 18th and 19th, but that's why they call it racing.
Well, you also had a really great run here. I know you're looking forward to going out to New York and driving Kyle's car there.
Yeah, you know, we were taking one race at a time. You know, I'm really thankful to Felix Sabates and the whole Sabco team for putting me in the mellow yellow car. And, you know, we wanted to get a win or a top 5 finish here. Didn't happen. We've at least got another one to look forward to. It's not next week like all the rest of these guys, but we've got one in August.
Right after Tommy climbed out of the car, Gary said, what are we going to do at Watkins Glen? Tommy said, hey, we're going to lap the field. Back to you, Bob.